Hello and welcome back to Cinema Rules. My name's Tom and behind the camera there's no one. We haven't got Sean. As I said in the last video, he's missing in action, he's off grid, he's away from planet Earth, but that gives us the opportunity to watch and react to the 2019 series, limited series, Chernobyl, created by Craig Mazin. As of recording this, I watched the first episode of Chernobyl last night, and I swear to God, I could not even sleep thinking about it. My main takeaway, I had two main takeaways. One is that it was so much more horrifying than I thought it would be. Not in just a claustrophobic, isolating sense, or the sense of dread, but also like body horror as well. It was really shocking and horrific the way that the radiation poisoning and sickness was affecting the people inside this nuclear power plant. But the other main takeaway as well is that this is a mega social commentary on what happens in a society that's built on lies and fear, and how that can lead to a downward spiral that ends in like a disastrous event like this. I'm so impressed by that first episode. I can't wait to watch this one. This one's called Please Remain Calm, and I'm just thinking it's going to be just as infuriating to watch, I'm sure, in terms of the outright denial that these people have for the fact that anything is going wrong or anything has gone wrong at all. What I'm hoping for is for some awesome character performance and acting and dialogue in this one. So obviously, hopefully we'll get Jared Harrison a more of a meatier role this time in this episode, now that he's been kind of drafted in to the committee to help respond to the disaster. But it was heavy. It was really heavy. It was emotional. I just hope I'm not going to cry, but I think we might get there depending on what happens. If you want to watch the full-length reaction to Chernobyl that I'm giving for this episode, then go and follow along on our Patreon and subscribe there. If you want to see every other episode of my Chernobyl reaction series, then drop a little like and subscribe on the channel as well. It really helps us out. On Patreon at the moment, we've got our new series, How to Hollywood, which is where we delve into how the films we love are crafted and created. So we love making that. Go and give it a watch if you haven't already, because it's really fun to make. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into episode 2 of Chernobyl. Was that a mosaic of mythology or gods or something? 7 hours.
Leak?
No. It would have gone off before. It's coming from outside.
The Americans?
This is horrifying. They're already getting radiation poisoning entering the atmosphere. So she's going to be one of the scientists that's like, you need to do something now. And they're going to be like, just remain calm. It's all well and good. We've got it sorted.
Iodine.
Could it be a waste dump?
That's why they were asking for iodine pills in the hospital. I wonder if it helps against radiation poisoning or something.
No one's answering the phone.
These could be the only people on the outside that know what's happening.
No, stop! What are you doing? These are radiation burns. Their clothes are contaminated. Help me! Get it all off.
At least someone knows what they're doing. This is how the panic starts. That slow zoom there is really effective with the kind of symmetrical mise en scene of the camera, of the scene.
I'm fine, thank you.
Would you care to read Deputy Chairman Shabina's report while you wait?
Certainly, thank you.
It's all fine. That's it. We're all okay. There's nothing wrong. I assume he gets infected. I assume he gets exposed at some point, and that's why he hung himself with the droplets of blood that were on his handkerchief. He doesn't even need to say anything. He's such a master when it comes to facial expressions. And you see all of this kind of frivolous decor, expensive decoration, lavish setting, and it doesn't matter. None of it matters if this if this meltdown happens.
The command's troops specializing in chemical hazards has been dispatched to the plant. In terms of radiation, Plant Director Bricano...
He's in disbelief already.
You're overdue for a checkup.
And foreign press?
Totally unaware.
Look at his pose. He's so blasé.
A fireman was severely burned on his hand by a chunk of smooth black mineral on the ground outside the reactor building. Smooth black mineral. Graphite. There's graphite on the ground.
So this is Stellan Skarsgård. He's a great actor.
Most of these bullets will not stop firing for 100 years.
Whoa.
Some of them not for 50,000 years.
Yes, and this concern stems entirely from the description of a rock.
You don't get many smooth black rocks around, guys.
Forgive me, Corporate General Secretary, but I don't...
Do you know how a nuclear reactor works?
No.
No. Well, then how will you know what you're looking at? Meeting adjourned.
So I know Gorbachev is obviously a real person, but I'm assuming if this is based in reality, these are all real people that the actors are playing. You've already got this kind of animosity relationship, putting two people that don't agree with each other together.
How does a nuclear reactor work?
What?
It's a simple question.
Simple question.
Tell me how a nuclear reactor works, or I'll have one of these soldiers throw you out of the helicopter.
What?
To moderate, slow down the neutron flux.
Good. I know how a nuclear reactor works. Now I don't need you.
Oh, God.
You want to get set? Go!
Please take her, please take her, please take her, please, please.
That was scary.
Excuse me, I'm Vasily Ignatenko's wife. He's a fireman. Ignatenko?
You would be in absolute desperation, wouldn't you? Trying to get to your family. At least they're evacuating some people.
That glow, that's radiation ionizing the air.
Well, if we can't see, we don't know. Get us directly over the building.
No!
I don't see your
We'll be
advice.
dead within a week, dead! Sir?
Get us over that building.
Oh my God. We'll be dead within a week. He's not doing it. Wow, someone's sane. They are so... It's almost like you tell enough lies and you believe them. Or you believe them out of fear. I don't know how quick the outside world were to find out about this disaster.
Let me introduce
I'm here
Ilya.
about Chernobyl.
Nobody's meant to know.
Before you were deputy secretary, you worked in a shoe factory.
Yes, I worked in a shoe factory. And now I'm in charge. To the workers of the world.
As soon as you go down the road where you start denying science, denying facts, you're doomed.
We'll tell them the truth in the simplest terms possible. We'll be fine.
Their truth or the actual truth? Even being in this area now, they're already exposed, aren't they?
Tell me how an RBMK reactor core explodes. I'm not prepared to explain it at this time. As I presumed, there's no answer.
It's disgraceful. Really. To spread disinformation at a time like this.
He's not spreading disinformation. It's infuriating.
Why did I see graphite on the roof?
He can't say he didn't.
Give him every bit of protection you have, but understand that even with lead shielding, it may not be enough.
Then I'll do it myself.
Again, in the midst of all these terrible people, you have some individuals that are like courageous and brave and actually have a sense of morality. And he's bearing with the weight that they know they're sending a man to his death.
It's not 3 round, Kent. It's 15,000.
Comrade Savina.
Means the fire we're watching with our own eyes is giving off nearly twice the radiation released by the bomb in Hiroshima.
Oh!
20 hours since the explosion, so 40 bombs worth by now. 48 more tomorrow, and it will not stop. Not in a week, not in a month. It will burn and spread its poison until the entire continent is dead.
Wow. Something so... in a small place, even though it's a big nuclear reactor, can kill the entire Charity of Europe and Asia.
At least evacuate Pripyat. It's 3 kilometers away.
That's my decision to make.
Then make it.
I've been told not to.
Is it or is it not your decision?
I'm in charge here.
It's my decision to make. I've been told not to. What a line. Again, it's like there's no antagonist, there's no enemy. I mean, there's the antagonistic characters, but there's no real enemy apart from their own fear that's preventing them from doing this. But the shots they have of things that have been affected by radiation, like the water just then, really slowed down close-ups that are quite ominous. They're really effective. They still obviously probably have to have enormous containment measures for the Chernobyl site. But I know you can visit it, so I wonder if they have managed to protect it even more.
They can't get over the fire. How are they?
The wind will have to carry it. Tell them they cannot go over the core.
Lead 1 is too close. I repeat, they are too close.
It's gone. They're gone. They're goners. They're goners. That's it. Are they going to be affected that quickly? Oh my god.
It's been smooth. 20 drops.
You only need about 1,000 more. Is that the bell tolling for you? The end.
Soviets may have been fairly quick to acknowledge the accident because evidence in the form of mild nuclear radiation had already reached beyond the Soviet borders to Scandinavia.
The fact that seems far away, but they can detect it. Evacuations, perhaps? I wonder if that woman was able to find her husband, track him down, the one that was going to Moscow. It really makes you contemplate what are the lessons that were learnt from this disaster? Were there any? Or are we doomed to repeat it at some point? The irony of him being on that evacuation bus when he was so adamantly walling these people in and preventing anyone from leaving and getting out. I mean, the arrogance.
Smothering the core will put the fire out, but the temperature will eventually increase. It will melt down.
I'm perfectly aware. But I estimate at least a month before it melts through the lower concrete pad, which gives us time.
No, you don't have a month. You have approximately 2 days.
Whoa.
I'm guessing that every pipe in the building ruptured, and then there are those fire engines that I saw on the way in.
Fire hoses are still connected. They've been gushing water into the structure this whole time.
Oh my god.
And will impact all of Soviet Ukraine, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarusia, as well as Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, and most of East Germany.
Jesus, the whole Soviet Union.
For much of the area, a nearly permanent disruption of the food and water supply. Steep increase in the rates of cancer and birth defects. I don't know how many deaths there will be, but many.
To hear this as a leader of your country.
More than 50 million people living in Belarusia and Ukraine.
60, yes.
And how long before this happens?
Approximately 48 to 72 hours.
Such a haunting image, isn't it, when you see these places left, like the schools, the restaurants, mankind defeated. That's what the image is.
And now you want us to swim underneath a burning reactor. Do you even know how contaminated it is?
I don't have an exact number.
You don't need an exact number to know if it will kill us. But you can't even tell us that. Why should we do this? For what, 400 rubles?
You'll do it because it must be done.
And because 60 million people will die.
I'm making my peace with it. Now you make yours. And go into that water. Because it must be done.
But you still need 3 volunteers.
Ananenko.
Where's Parlov? Baranov.
And then someone else is there like, oh no, it's okay, you got your 3 that you need. Jesus. The sheer and utter courage of these men. That Geiger counter sound, it's going to go off the charts, isn't it? What kind of future would we have had as a world if this explosion, this vaporization of the water, and that 30-kilometer explosion, what world would we live in right now if that actually happened? You know, it would have caused famine, it would have caused mass casualty, irreversible disruption of the global superpower hierarchy. The sound. So that was episode 2 of Chernobyl, titled Please Remain Calm. The standard, the quality of this episode repeats the first, but I think it builds upon it as well. If there's anything I didn't do, it was remain calm throughout this. But I'm almost at a loss for words because the tension is so unbelievably high throughout this episode. You know, you've got Legasso, played by Jared Harris, continuing to fight this fight. He's almost bashing his head against a brick wall at the start of this, and then he gradually wins them round. But it's the concept that he knows they are going to die most likely in 5 years, let alone the people that they're sending to their deaths as well. And that concept of 3 men for 60 million people is just impossible to work your head around, let alone being the person in a situation where you have to give these orders and directions. I mean, the real people that did that, the horror of the end there, the claustrophobia was back from the first episode, the lighting, the sound of the Geiger counter going insane, the darkness, the complete pitch black darkness, that is the somber dread and fear that is created. And the fact that these were real people, courageous enough to volunteer. Maybe they didn't volunteer, maybe they did. But the fact that they do in this episode, you know, it's impossible to almost empathise with in a way. But wow, it's top-notch casting. Stellan Skarsgård came into it in this episode and he was absolutely incredible. That speech he gave, the monologue he gave at the end as well, I was thinking, would this win people over? But I think he's just a scene stealer. But then his relationship with Jared Harris, 2 titans of acting. I honestly think they are incredible actors. You've got the female Belarusian scientist as well coming into it. She does a fantastic job. I love how they had somebody on the outside realising what was going on, and it made the lies even worse that people didn't know. But now the outside world knows as well. Incredible at the moment. I'm so excited for episode 3, and I'm actually going to watch it straight away right now as well. Episode 3 is called Open Wide, O Earth. I don't know. I feel like every character we are introduced to is probably going to die a horrible death. I wonder if we'll end up going back to the guy one of the firefighters that went to Moscow and his wife tried to catch up with him. I hope we continue with their story as well. It's bleak, but it's important. I feel like the message is so important. I hope it delivers on that throughout. Anyway, if you like this episode, make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with the other reactions to Chernobyl that will be released. And if you want to watch the full-length reaction, go and check it out now on our Patreon page. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're a subscriber, thank you even more because it really helps us out. So without further ado, I'll see you next time in the next episode of Chernobyl. Thanks.